Welcome to HR Minutes. I'm Tim Timmons, the HR Director for the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. And today we have with us William Floyd, a partner with the law firm of Nexsen Pruet. William, glad to have you with us.
Thanks, Tim. Great to be here.
For those of you who don't know, William writes a publication for us, a part of our legal reference series. And what he writes about, we're going to talk about later on, but one of the things he does, he talks about the Employment Security Commission. And if you haven't seen the latest news, William, you've seen it. I know you have. Every time I pick up a newspaper or come on the TV, there's something about the Employment Security Commission, what's going on over there. So what I really want to do is spend a few minutes this morning talking to you about the Employment Security Commission, kind of their purpose, their goals, and see how much we can get done in a quick period of time. So
sure.
Can you give us a 30-second spill on what the purpose is? What was the original design behind the Employment Security Commission? What's it really there for?
Unemployment compensation originated out of the Great Depression. So it's been around for a while. And during those dark times, Congress came up with this idea. And the idea was to provide temporary income replacement due to the job loss of an employee due to no fault of their own. So if they've lost their job due to no fault of their own, this was created to provide a bridge to that employee.
So we're talking about, from a layman's standpoint, layoffs. No work and you're laid off, this will provide. Well, as we saw the other day with some of the statistics we got from the commission, there are a lot of different reasons now they give for paying money. We'll get into those in a little while. But let's talk about the recession for a second. Do you keep up with, or do you have a feel for what the unemployment rate is in South Carolina now?
It's too much. It's definitely too much. And in fact, the recession has hit our state harder than most states. As of this summer, South Carolina had the third highest unemployment rate in the nation.
That's a percentage, right?
By percentage.
Okay.
Second only to Michigan and Rhode Island. And so this summer it was over 12% statewide. But there's some parts of the state that are even harder hit than that. Some counties have almost double that in unemployment.
Is it mainly the manufacturing areas?
It's across the board.
It's across the board. Well, all right, given that, I know how the fund operates, and most people deal with that. The fund's gone from having excess, if you will, reserves, to in the hole almost insolvent, if I understand right. So what is that what's causing that to happen?
It's a combination of a lot of things, but you're right, there's this thing called the trust fund, which is in effect a bank account that the commission had and has. And earlier this decade, there was a lot of money in there, but over the past several years, even before the recession hit, the trust fund was paying out more than it was receiving. So we're having some deficit spending there. When the recession hit, it hit in a big way, and the trust fund that we had evaporated over a matter of months.
Well, let's talk about that, because I'm not sure a lot of our viewers understand, and maybe you correct me if I'm wrong. You talk about the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund. Unless I'm mistaken, the funds that are in that trust fund are 100% employer contributions. Employees don't pay anything into the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund. Is that right?
That's right. It's all through employer taxes.
So we're talking about employer money here that's been distributed to these people, and now we're in the, how far are we in the hole?
We are $500 million in the hole as of right about now, and there's no end in sight right now. And it could be, estimates range from anywhere from another $500 million on top of that. So it could be all total $1 billion. But and it's a scary thing for the state, because ultimately that trust fund has to be replenished. Now right now we're running on federal government loans. That's how the Unemployment Compensation Commission is still paying out money, in addition to the normal tax payments that the employers are making.
Well, let's talk about those loans, if you will, for a second. If all the money in the fund comes from employers, and now that's gone and we're borrowing money, where does the money come to repay the loans?
That's the big dollar question. And that's a question that the legislature, the commission, the governor are going to be wrestling with, because in the end, the loan will have to be paid back. If we don't pay it back in a timely fashion, and there are certain timelines set out, that it's going to start accruing huge amounts of interest.
And we don't know how that's going to get paid back yet.
Now, it's going to be a hot political topic that they're still...
Are we still borrowing money, William?
We're still borrowing money.
On a weekly basis?
Well, on a regular basis.
On a regular basis.
To keep the weekly payments going out.
I'm beginning now to understand why there's so much in the news about it. Mm-hmm. If I understand right, there's a summit, kind of a conference coming up with the governor and the Department of Commerce. Can you talk about that a little bit, what that's about and when that is?
Well, that was held last week.
It's already been held?
Yes.
Okay.
And more to come, we believe, more to come, because the big dollar question is really how to pay back what we've borrowed, and then how to fix the system going forward.
Have you looked at any recommendations yet on how to fix the system, or is that still to come?
Well, there's a lot of proposals out there right now, but I think the key to fixing the system will involve some basic components. One will be reform the current system. The next will be revise the system to change the focus more back to the original purpose rather than where we've gone some astray. And the third would be to really fine-tune who gets payments, who gets unemployment compensation, and how that's accounted for.
Do you have any idea how things like, I mean, can you draw partial unemployment benefits? Like if you've got a part-time job, do you draw partial if you get laid off, or is it all or none? How does that system work?
Currently under the system, you can get partial unemployment.
Can you be retired and draw unemployment benefits? Do you know about that?
Currently under the system, my understanding is you can draw it there. You can draw it if you're receiving severance pay. You can, there are a lot of times when you can draw under the current system that would strike you as being kind of odd, given the original purpose of the act of somebody being unemployed due to a layoff, due to no fault of their own, but it's grown far beyond that.
Yeah. Now, one last thing. I know we're about out of time. Somewhere I've read that if you are discharged for cause, there's a reason. Your employer discharged you for attendance or whatever it was. When you go to the commission, there could be an issue, or there could be a situation where everybody agrees you were discharged for cause, but you'd still draw unemployment. I'm not sure I quite understand that. Can you explain to me how you can be discharged for cause, a reason, and still draw it at some point in time?
Yeah, under our current state statute, it disqualifies someone in that situation for a period of time, but not for the entire time of unemployment. Other state statutes, for example, in North Carolina, you can have an absolute disqualification so that an employee in that situation would never draw. But in South Carolina, it's more of a disqualification of weeks. But ultimately, they can recover unemployment.
That could happen then. Yes. Well, we're going to be keeping an eye on this Employment Security Commission stuff, and I know you do on a daily basis. We might have you back in here to do a follow-up in a couple of weeks and see how things are going.
Very good.
Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for your time.
Bye.